Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the show Real Time, where we are live talking about film and television and everything in between. Today, we're going to be talking about something really awesome, which is how you can improve your live stream setup in quarantine. So, without any further ado, let's dive right into it. Again, thank you so much for everybody to tune in. My name is Mustafa Haddad with Cinema King Productions, and like I said, we are going to be talking about how you can improve your live stream quality in quarantine. This is something I've been thinking about a lot because with the coronavirus being rampant, we should still be observing social distancing and we should still be quarantined in our homes until the coast is clear, right? So with that in mind, since we are cooped up in our homes, many of us have not been able to connect, or rather, let me say that again. Many of us have been able to connect via social media, video chats, live streams, and so on. But the downside is that most of the built-in, webcams and laptops or computers, they're just horrible. They just really stink, and they always use automatic settings, so they always change the white balance, always change the exposure frequently, and it's not a good image quality. You want to get the best, you know? Sometimes it always changes the frame rate, so sometimes it's a little bit laggy, and it just doesn't look good. You want to have, the best quality, and the best part about it is that it is achievable. But on top of that, right, the microphone, the audio, it's inherable. And I repeat, inherable. This is a word that was coined by my father, and I've concluded that it is a combination of the words incredible, horrible, and terrible altogether. And I think it really describes our situation, right? Even the quality of microphones, that they're so muffled sounding. Sometimes it sounds like you're underwater. It doesn't sound good. You want to be clear and crisp when you're talking to your audience. You want to have great video so that way they can see you. You look a little bit flattering, like it looks nice. Sometimes in terms of audio, different software that you use as their own filters to try to eliminate the excess noise, and that's never good. So they do that in the attempt to make you sound clear. Baloney. It's bananas. That's what it is. It's bananas. So I wrote down a few notes over here how you can add a few things to make your live streams much more improved. And by the way, this is not just for live streams. If you don't live stream, cool. But this also applies if you do, video conferencing, video chats, things of that sort. You can use the same setup. By the way, again, thank you all for tuning in. And if you know somebody who could benefit from this, please share it with them. Please share it with them. I know a lot of people are using live streaming platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and they're putting out content on the regular, which is awesome. It's great. Putting your message out there, trying to benefit people. But the quality of these things sometimes, I'm just like, man, if only they just put in that little bit of effort to make it so much better. And I think that's what I want to drive home, is that with just a few of these tips, you can change the whole perception of your live stream and or video conference. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing is that you need to have a dedicated video camera, whether it being a DSLR camera, a mirrorless camera, or a camcorder, something with HDMI out, and you need that to be stabilized, so you need it on a tripod, or you can have it on a moving slider, or just something to keep it stable, so it's not shaky everywhere. and you'll need to have a capture card. The reason is because these cameras natively do not connect into your computer. So you need to have, these cameras with HDMI output, and they need to go into a video capture card with a USB 3.0 input, right? So that goes into your computer. Now, don't get confused with those devices that seem really cheap and they output from your computer via USB with the HDMI female, and those go to like a projector, right? That's going out from the computer. You need something that goes into the computer. So you need a dedicated video capture card. The cheapest one I know, it's like maybe about $100, something like that. Really, really affordable, in my opinion, just so you can have that amazing, clear, crisp quality. Right now I'm using the Panasonic GH5 as my main camera, and then my second angle is the little brother, the Panasonic GH4, and it's on the Rhino slider going back and forth on its own. And then the third camera is, of course, the GoPro Hero 3. It's not 3, sorry, GoPro Hero 7 up there. Hey guys. And I think any one of these cameras will automatically make your live stream image look much better. Now, if you don't want to go the DSLR route, if you want to go a little bit on the more affordable end, you can get an external webcam. The most popular amongst the webcam categories, at least that are popular with live streaming, is the Logitech C920. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but that's just my recommendation. I believe it's a really great webcam. Connects into your computer via USB, and you can also mimic the DSLR look with your webcam if you have a green screen. And the way to achieve that is if you go into, let's behind you and do live chroma key, and you can make the image look a little bit blurred, so that way it has that shallow depth of field look, fake bokeh. It's really great. That's an alternative. But if you want to have it done natively, I would invest to get a better looking DSLR camera, so that way it's easier and it's all built in. You have your body, you have the camera, the lens. You can obviously change out the lens so you can have different looks. It's all up to you. And of course, with a dedicated camera, you have control over your white balance, ISO, shutter speed, frame rate. It's all manually controlled, and it's always the same. So that's important. So make sure you have a dedicated camera. That's first and foremost. Secondly is lighting. Without lighting, you can't see yourself. So make sure you get yourself either a LED panel, which I think is the most versatile type of lighting. They get more and more affordable with different brands. The one I'm using right now, actually I forgot the brand, but there's one that I would recommend, which is by Newer. Again, not sponsored, but I just like their products a lot. Even this arm that I've talked about before in the past is from Newer, and I think they just deliver. They have high quality products with affordable rates, and that's what we want. Now, I say LED panel because first, it doesn't give off heat, so you can have it on forever and it won't make you burn up, unlike traditional light bulbs. So, and then secondly, you can get different models with something called bicolor, and what that means is that you can change the color temperature of the light. So you can make it warm, which is what it is now, and then you could also make it cool. So depending on your white balance setting on your camera, you can have this contrasting effect where your subject, aka me, is correctly white balanced because the color temperature is set properly, and then the background is the contrast because of the other natural light that's coming in. So you can mix it up, try different things. So first I would recommend, like I said, the LED panel, right? 1x1, and sometimes they come with barn doors so you can direct the light bulbs, and so they will give off heat. And sometimes they come in with soft boxes, so it can make it like a diffuser. evenly spread out the light just so you have a nice clean image instead of something that's really harsh and contrasty. And like I said, those come in 3 lights. So you get, your key light, which is the main light. Then you have your fill light, which is what, fills in the shadows as you're positioning your lights. And then the third would be the hairline light or the highlight. And basically it'd be up and behind you at an angle so it can distinguish you from the background. It can pull you away. So something like that. They're also very affordable. Lastly, if you want to go completely DIY, and I remember doing this in the past when I first started getting into, doing productions and, YouTube skits and things like that, I was using can lights. And these are some things that you find at Home Depot. But again, you just use a regular light bulb, and it's in this metal case, and you can clamp it anywhere. And you can spray the bottle. You can use a spray can bottle to choose different colors for your lights so they can give off a different color if you're into that. So yeah, first, dedicated camera, either a DSLR, mirrorless, or a camcorder with HDMI out on a tripod into a capture card into your computer. That's, option 1. Or option 2 with the camera is external webcam. I would recommend the Logitech C920 because it's very good. And then with that, you can mimic a DSLR by having it, having yourself on a green screen, and with software like OBS where you can stream and create your scenes. You can do a live chroma key and then put any image behind you, which would be the same set, but you make it blurry and give that illusion of being far off in the distance to give that shallow depth of field. So that's cameras. And then again, just reviewing lighting, we use either an LED panel with bicolor, so you have that option to choose what type of coloring you want in your image, or you can use just a regular lighting kit with regular light bulbs. It'll be a little bit hot, but it will be powerful enough to light you up in the scene. And then option 3, which is can lights. Just go to Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that. And, oh, hey, Ayman. Great advice, mashallah. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, use can lights from Home Depot or Lowe's, and just use a regular light bulb. You can clamp it anywhere to a broomstick if you want, or you can go to IKEA and even use a pole or something. Like, they have really good lights too. Just light up your scene. That's all I'm trying to say, is just light up your scene. Sometimes I see people with their live streams and it's just like a flat light going, and I'm just like, come on, man. Like, it could have been so much more better. Next is, of course, without audio, your video means nothing, especially your live stream. So you need to have a dedicated microphone. And, of course, the better quality microphones have an XLR output from them. And in order to connect that into your computer so that it is read by the computer as an audio input, you will need to connect it to a USB interface. If you don't want to go that route, you want to go a little bit in the mid-range in terms of pricing, but still good quality, you can get yourself a direct USB microphone. So a very popular one amongst, online content creators, like for live streams or whatever, they like to use the Yeti. It's a USB microphone. Very, very popular, pretty affordable, and does the job. Or you can go the third option, which I don't 100% recommend, but it does get the job done, which is using a regular 3.5 millimeter microphone. However, you have to be careful which type you use. For example, if you have, let's say, a MacBook or a Mac computer, and the microphone input is the same as the headphone jack, you have to make sure that the output on the end of the 3.5 millimeter is a TRRS connection, not a regular TRS. TRS means tip, ring, sleeve. TRRS is tip ring sleeve. And that is the one that you know includes a microphone input. So you want to make sure if you're going to get a microphone with a 3.5 millimeter jack, it needs to have a TRRS connection, not a TRS. And if it doesn't have it for some reason, get yourself an adapter, and that should work. So now you have your camera, you have your lighting, you have your microphone. Next, you need to have a appealing set design, because you want to create the space that reflects who you are, right? Give it some character. So it's just an extension of your personality, what you're like, and things like that. Don't leave it a plain black wall, plain white wall. It's not really appealing, in my opinion. You want to have some depth. You want to have some character to it. Add some artwork, add some memorabilia of your favorite things, add some plants, and I'm very fortunate that I have all three of those in my set. But yeah, just give it some character. Don't leave it a blank wall. You don't want that. You want something that reflects and expresses who you are. So just to review one more time, the first thing you need is a dedicated video camera, be it a DSLR, mirrorless camera, or a camcorder on a tripod with a video capture card, or an external webcam that you can mimic the DSLR look using additional software. Secondly, you need to have lighting so you can light yourself and make it look more dynamic and more interesting. Thirdly, or rather, let's go back to lighting. The different types of lights, again, this is all just for your review, is using an LED panel, or using a lighting kit, or having can lights. Those are your really good options. Then number 3 is having a dedicated microphone. This guy right here. You need to make sure you sound clean and clear so that your audience hears you. And either getting a high-end one, like, actually this one is not that high-end, but it does have an XLR connection. So I got this for, at the time it was $17. Now it's like 30, I think. Still a great microphone. I love it. And it adds to the aesthetic, which is really, really cool. Sorry, I got distracted. The second type of microphone is just a straight USB microphone. So it goes straight into your computer, and if you have to install certain drivers for your computer to recognize it, you have to do that. And make sure that you set that microphone as the microphone input. Otherwise, it's going to use the built-in microphone as the default. And then thirdly, you can use a 3.5 millimeter microphone. Make sure it's a TRRS, not a TRS microphone, although I don't think that's even possible. But this is meant for, again, like if you're using like an iPhone or a MacBook, you want to use something like that. And then lastly is to have a set design. Make sure that it's, a reflection of who you are, and, adds character. You want to create the space that reflects, you. Not somebody else or any, like, you want to be unique. You want to be different. Make sure your set shows that. Make sure you have, some type of artwork, or use, or have memorabilia, or have plants. Those are just some options. Get creative. Think outside the box, And yeah. Man, we've only been going for 21 minutes. This has been fun. This has been great. And I'm really excited that y'all are tuning in. If y'all have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments, and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can, and I'll respond to them. But I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I know this is a very short live stream, but coming up, we're going to have some really exciting guests. Tomorrow, April 30th, at 7 p.m. CST, we're going to have Omar Reagan joining us all the way from Los Angeles. And we're going to have a nice little conversation interview with him about his journey making it into Hollywood, which is very awesome, and I'm very excited about that. And I hope you all tune in and make sure you have that post notification turned on so you will be notified when we go live. Again, that is tomorrow, April 30th at 7 p.m. CST. And then later on Saturday, we're going to have another awesome guest, Mr. V1 Tech himself. He's going to be joining us, and he's going to be talking about, actually I forgot the name of the title right now, but basically he's going to be coming on and talking about how you can build your dream PC, right? So for your workstation, for your video editing specifically. So I'm very excited about that, and that's going to happen on Saturday, May 2nd at 2 p.m. So make sure you are tuned in for that. I'm very excited, and I can't wait for y'all to watch that. I'm going to go ahead and end here. If y'all enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit that post notification down below so you know when we are live again here on Real Time. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.